Hi everybody. In this video, we're going to solve a simple quadratic, but I put little quotes on that simple because there is a little trick in this one that often causes problems. So let's go through an approach that feels like it's perfectly fine, but I want to point out a mistake that is often made, and we'll see how to correct that mistake. So when you see this, you in your head might be thinking, well, I know I'm done when I have an equation that says x equals something. And right now I have x squared on one side and x on the other. If I divide by x on the right-hand side, we end up with 15. I've got 3x on this side. When I use rules for exponents, now I can divide by 3 and end up with x equals 5, which seems like we've gotten exactly what we want, a result of 5. And if you go back and put this in, you get 3 times 5 squared on the right and 15 times 5 on the left, which both come out to 75. So even if you check your work, this appears to be absolutely correct. And it's true, this is a correct solution, but the problem is we are trying to solve this solution, meaning we want to find all of the solutions. Sorry, we're trying to solve this equation, which means we want to find all of the solutions. And the mistake came in this very first step, right? When we divided by x, when you divide by x, you are automatically deciding x can't be 0, okay? Because we can't divide by 0. So in this step, the math is understanding that 0 is not a possibility for x anymore. And we end up with x equals 5. Anytime you divide by something you don't know, you are excluding the possibility that thing is equal to 0. And sometimes it's fine because sometimes the thing you have can't be 0 or the 0 doesn't apply in your situation. But in this case, there's nothing outlawing x being 0. And there's two ways to approach this. We can just think to ourselves, okay, I'm not letting x equal 0. Would x also be a solution? And if you go back and think, if I put in 3 times 0 squared and 15 times 0, I notice that this is also true, which means x is a solution. So we could add that. Or the method that I prefer is to avoid that situation entirely. 3x squared equals 15x. Instead of dividing by 0, one thing we might do is subtract 15x. And now I have 3x squared minus 15x is equal to 0. I can factor out 3x, leaving behind x minus 5 equal to 0. And of course, now I have two factors that are multiplying together and are equal to 0. One of them has to be 0. In other words, 3x is equal to 0, or x minus 5 is equal to 0. These are both very simple equations to solve. The first one I just divide by 3. The second one I add 5, so I get x equals 0 and x equal 5, or x equal 5, right? So we end up in the same place. And to be honest, it's clear this looks like a bit more work, but I do think it's a better habit in general. Whenever if you're going to divide by something that is unknown, you are running the risk that you're eliminating the possibility that it's equal to 0. And sometimes that is one of the things you might be looking for, like in this case. So we end up with these two solutions here. Okay, that's it for this one. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.